Adobe recently announced their new AI tool called Adobe Firefly. Not gonna lie, I totally squealed with excitement when I got access to the beta, but unfortunately it was kind of short-lived. Let's go over what Adobe Firefly is really quick in case you haven't been able to keep up with all the crazy AI news updates lately. Adobe is entering the AI race with tools that honestly are already available in Stable Diffusion and Midjourney, such as, of course, outpainting, where you expand an image, inpainting, where you change a certain aspect of an image, lots of compositing tools where you can change the environment or the composition of an image. Some more basic tools like depth to image, color correction tools, upscaling those pixelated images. I think 3D model to image is gonna work kind of like image to image. And of course, the main thing, which is text to image. Then there are a couple new features that I haven't really seen in other programs, such as text to template, which I think Canva is working on, but I'm not quite sure. Text to vector isn't available yet in the beta, but I am so excited for that one. Then their photo combining tool seems to have some potential. We'll see when that becomes available. I have a hard time finding the brushes that I'm looking for online, so I am quite curious about this AI brush making tool. They have some text effects tools that I see other models starting to hop on. I am most excited about the way that it was created. It used public domain images and their own Adobe stock. Some of the advantages of using an algorithm that was trained on this limited monitored data set is that, one, you don't have to worry about not safe for work images randomly popping up. I know this is a disadvantage for some, but for a lot of us, this is a huge relief. It also can't imitate contemporary artist styles. Again, I know this is a disadvantage to some people, but I personally don't want to use anyone else's style that they don't want me to use. I think that's extremely disrespectful. I mostly use public domain artists. I do a lot of storybook art. Even when I only use public domain artists in Stable Diffusion, I also have to acknowledge that it is learning from artists who don't want their work being trained on, and I don't like that feeling. I don't want to deal with that. And that leads to my third positive. We got to talk about the fact that sometimes artists will go full Voldemort on their art, and they will literally take part of their soul and put it into their art. And if that ends up in one of your AI works, you could get cursed. I don't want no curses. I don't want no Horcruxes. No, thank you. Now for some of the cons. While Adobe says that it is just so perfectly ethical, there are still concerns that the anti-AI people are bringing up. Unfortunately, the scraping of Adobe stock was an opt-out option rather than an opt-in option. It also included some Adobe stock that was made from AI, so the anti-AI people are still screaming that it is not ethical. I don't necessarily agree that it is unethical, but it's definitely not as ethical as they pretend that it is. Another obvious concern is that most people can't afford Adobe steep prices, especially considering that Stable Diffusion is completely free. Also, limits me a lot. I feel like I haven't been able to grow. I was someone who was always pushing the boundaries of AI. If it had a limitation, I'd find a way to trick the AI into doing what I wanted it to do. And I'm not able to do that with this. What a lot of AI bros don't realize is that in the state that AI art currently is in, it is not beneficial for most artists. Like, some artists benefit from it because of the kind of art that they do. But I know I tried like remaking an old comic that I did. Yeah, the art isn't that great in it. I tried, but it literally took me just as long to try to recreate it with AI art than it would have been for me to just like fix it up manually. And while they are coming out with more tools to make it more useful for artists, it's still not. And if anyone is interested in what my ideal AI art program would look like, I would love to do a demo of a mock-up I put together. And I'd love to get feedback from both digital artists, traditional artists, and AI artists to see if it would benefit you at all. In conclusion, I think that we are in desperate need of a program that will not only avoid taking from artists, but also benefit artists. And I am starting to lose hope that Adobe Firefly will be that program, but I hope that there will be one in the future.